Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Bring me down, can't none bring me down. The love is too high to bring me down. Can't none bring me down. I said, because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do.
So for those of you that are not aware, I'm Amy Williams. I'm the principal at the William Dix School, and I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome everybody. We are thanking the weather that it's holding out for the moment, so we are also going to keep moving quickly because it was pouring when we got here this morning. So they're opening up the skies with a little bit of brightness for us, and we're going to keep everything going so you guys don't get too soaked. We do have some other student performers at the end of the ceremony, so hopefully everyone will stay around to view those students who are going to perform at the conclusion of the ceremony. So it's been a long time coming, our beautiful schoolyard, and we are so thankful to everybody that played a part, specifically our partners with TPL and in Mayor Nutter's office. This was a vision that Mayor Nutter had for North Philadelphia, and it's been a long time coming. Few glitches along the way, including underground cemeteries, but here we are. We have managed to thrive regardless, as we always do. So it's beautiful. We want to thank everyone, and I'm going to move things along to Mayor Nutter.
Thank you, Principal Williams. I was just talking to Councilman Clark. I wasn't paying attention. But we are happy. We're pretty excited to be here. Please give it up for our principal and for our great student dancers here this morning. I'm going to be quick. I don't want to test the fates, and we have been pretty fortunate with the weather. We've got a lot of folks who are here and to thank. It takes a ton of folks to make big things like this happen. Certainly, first and foremost, I want to thank Council President Darrell Clark. This is also his district, and thank him for his support and his commitment to these kinds of efforts. Please recognize City Council President Darrell Clark. Councilman at Large Bill Greenlee is here with us today. Councilman, good seeing you. Thank you very, very much. Our school superintendent, the one who is most responsible for the education and care of our children all throughout the city of Philadelphia, Superintendent Dr. William Hite. And we thank him for his continued leadership in times of challenge. Farrah Jimenez, a member of the School Reform Commission, is with us as well. Good morning, Commissioner. Partnership just within the city government, a couple great leaders. Mike DeBaradinas, who heads up, of course, he's the Deputy Mayor for Environmental and Community Resources, and his teammates, Sue Slauson and Mark Folk, and we thank them all. Howard Neukrug, our Water Commissioner, and Catherine Gajewski, our Chief Sustainability Officer. They're all here, and a bunch of other folks, so please recognize them. Will Rogers, President and CEO of the Trust for Public Land. I want to thank him, and Dr. Janet Haas, the William Penn Foundation, who does so many things with the city of Philadelphia. Please recognize both of them. And I don't know if you got a chance to read the story, but the students actually participated in much of the design here in what could be one of the largest parking lots in the United States of America. We were here, I guess, about a year and a half or so ago for the announcement, and what a transformation has taken place here. So we're excited for the students, but we're also proud of the students. One more time, can we please give our students a big round of applause, the great work that they have done. So many people throughout the city don't have access to open space and green space, and we have made it a goal that we want at least 75% of our residents to be no more than a 10-minute walk away from some open space or green space, but also in an effort to add to the green space of this city, and both through our Greenworks Philadelphia plan and Green 2015, we want to add acreage of open space and green. And so all of these partnerships really do make a difference. If you were here a couple years ago, as I mentioned, all of this pretty much was asphalt and not in good shape, asphalt to boot. And so the transformation is nothing short of miraculous. And this is the kind of thing that we want to do all across the city of Philadelphia. This is a first of at least 10 different locations across the city, schools and recreation centers, asphalt, concrete, all of these impermeable surfaces contributing to stormwater management problems, but even more so, contributing to an ugly landscape that could be beautified. And so you see the rain garden, and so of course, on this opening day, it would be raining. That's just the way it goes. I mean, we searched for a date when we knew that it would be close to the end of the school year and raining all at the same time. It takes a lot of skill to put together these kinds of events. AstroTurf over on the side, it actually allows water to come through. It's a permeable surface, and you can't see it now, but there's actually a big drain underneath that surface there. That water drains into the rain garden. And so expertly designed, of course, by the water department, and I think the AstroTurf was actually put down by the Philadelphia Eagles, who did some of the first work here with the recreation space, and I think also the painting of that wall in the back. And speaking of murals, of course, we have the #1 muralist, at least in the United States of America, if not the world. Jane Golden is with us here this morning. And so we want our schools and our schoolyards to be safe havens and safe places, and of course, that requires help and support from many partners, public-private partnerships, but also investment by the city and support by the school district. Could not be more pleased and proud of this effort here, and look forward to many more of these kinds of open groundbreakings, ribbon cuttings, but ultimately more open space for our young people all across the city of Philadelphia. Congratulations, everyone who's been involved, and thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Mayor Nutter. And now I have the privilege of introducing our Superintendent of Schools, Dr. William Hite.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you, Principal Williams. And once again, congratulations to you and your school, and especially to the students who designed this program and helped in the design of the playground. I want to acknowledge Mayor Nutter, Council President, all of the other dignitaries I have on my sheet to reintroduce everybody. I'm not going to do that. But I do want to express once again how significant this partnership was to bring this to fruition. And I want to recognize the individuals in the school district who worked tirelessly to make this happen. And that individual was here earlier this morning. I believe she's still here, but it's Danielle Floyd. She's in the back. She works in a capital program. Danielle, thank you for the work that you did to help us with this project. Also, the Trust for Public Land, Philadelphia Parks and Recreation, Philadelphia Water Department, Principal Williams, and more importantly, the students who now are in higher grades or upper grades. Some are in high school, some are in the 8th grade, who helped design what you see this morning, and we will hear from them later. The fact is, this is happening this morning here, and it is here because of several reasons. Number one, it was a large space, a large asphalt, so it was right for that. But number two, it does provide for that in communities so that there's more access to green space, and we think that's extremely important. In addition, Dick is a receiving school. They received almost 160 students from Pratt, I believe, Principal Williams. And so the fact that now we have students coming from a different place to this school having access to this program is pretty impressive. So the new playground encourages students to participate in sports with their new running track, turf field, and basketball courts. Philadelphia's Green 2015 initiative is focusing on creating new green play spaces at 5 schools and 5 recreation centers in neighborhoods where residents lack access to green spaces and recreational activities. So this provides the children with a hands-on way of learning about the environment and how to care for green spaces, both in Philadelphia and across the country. So I want to once again recognize all of the individuals in the respective departments who've helped bring this to fruition, given what we are faced with in terms of revenue. The fact that all of the partnerships have come together to provide this type of environment for our students here at the William Dick School is very important. So once again, thank you, and thank you for being here this morning.
Thank you, Dr. Hite. We're moving along in our remarks, and our next speaker is the Honorable Darrell L. Clark, who is our City Council President.
Thank you, Principal. Like the mayor, I am happy. I want to thank the mayor and his team for the individuals who worked together on this project. Kind of behind the scenes, Mike, I didn't even know you figured out a way to get funding without coming to me for this particular project. I think that might be one of the best things about this project. No, guys, this is, over the last several weeks and months, been hearing about the challenges associated with the school district and how everybody has to work together. And the administration, the council, and the school district, the state, all of the stakeholders have to pull together. But what you see here is actually a blueprint for what can happen when people actually do work together. Because the reality is, bring in the nonprofit sector, the administration, the school district, all of the people associated with making sure that our young people in our lives have a better life. I look at this site, and we talked about the asphalt, and it used to be a parking lot and a slab of whatever. And in the neighborhood, we affectionately call this as the shortcut from North Street to Diamond Street. It's kind of what we called it. And looking at how it was transformed is just so amazing to me. I just want to say how excited I am. Mayor, you have started something, because every school in my district is going to say, Darrell, when are you going to talk to the mayor to get one of these in our lot, right? And, hint, hint, Blaine School. So I just want to thank everybody, Dr. Hite, the principal, and most particularly the young people who participated in this wonderful design and wonderful project, for the great work, and all of our friends, the commissioners. Thank you so much on behalf of the neighborhood, for providing a really nice opportunity to increase the quality of life for our young people. So again, all of you, thank you so much. And again, I am so happy. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Clark. My next person that I'm going to introduce is someone who was here 2 years ago. He has obviously been paramount in creating our beautiful yard, and as I said, I first met him 2 years ago and really found his passion to change this neighborhood and to make it a better place for all of you to use. So I'm pleased to introduce our Deputy Mayor and Commissioner Michael DeBerardinis.
Thank you, Principal Williams, and good morning, everyone. First of all, I want to say how happy and proud the women and men of the Department of Parks and Recreation are to have been part of this wonderful collaborative that and the product of which we're celebrating here today. And in addition to all the folks that have been thanked, I want to add a few more to that list. First of all, I want to just thank Mark Allen Hughes. He worked under the mayor's direction at the beginning of the administration to create Greenworks, which is the blueprint for moving Philadelphia to the most sustainable and green city in America. Also want to thank Harris Steinberg from Penn Praxis for his work on Green 2015, which figured out where are the places that have limited neighborhoods that have limited access to green space, and how do we begin to provide that access to green space. And that's been the blueprint for this work. Also want to thank on my staff, my chief of staff, the youngest guy in the department, Patrick Morgan, and my two deputies, Mark Folk and Susan Slauson, for their continued work in support of this project and the work we do every day around the city. So I want to thank them, and please join me in that. Thank you. Why is today important? I think one reason is it represents a unique collaborative between the city, the Department of Parks and Recreation, the school district, the water department, our national partner, the Natural Lands Trust, the community here in North Philadelphia, the students at the Dick School came together to put this beautiful place on the map. This is the way to do business, and this is the future model for business, civic business in the city. We can't do big things without working in this way. It is also important because the kids in this school now have a new, not only recreational, but educational asset that they help create and supports their education each day. It's important because the community now has a new green space, which it'll have access to, and that they helped create. It's important because it is a product of a thoughtful and committed execution of the mayor's Green Works plan and the Department of Parks and Recreation goals in Green 2015. It's important because it moves our city forward in its journey to be America's greenest and most sustainable city. More stormwater managed, more trees, more public green space, and a more competitive city. And finally, it is important because it continues our city's historic commitment to guard and promote the democratic values of equity, opportunity, and fairness for all our citizens, young and old. So I am, again, very proud to be here, proud of the women and men of the Department of Parks and Recreation who worked so hard in bringing this day to fruition. Thank you very much.
Our next esteemed guest is the Commissioner of the Water Department. We certainly learned a lot. I know I learned a lot about water and drainage over the course of this process, so please welcome Howard Neukrug.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I hope all the children learned that the Water Department does not control the rain. We have no responsibility for that. But we do manage the runoff. And being able to work with this community, the school, city council, kids, and create an environment here that really brings something back to this community is just really wonderful. I'd like to especially thank those from the Philadelphia Water Department that have worked long and hard on this project. A couple of names are Beth Ann Lutz, Evan Wilbert, and Elaine Barr. Obviously, Christine Knapp and Joanne Dom and Chris Crockett are all here, and a number of folks who helped with the actual inspection, design, and construction of this project. Thank you very, very much. This project doesn't happen without leadership. This project doesn't happen without vision. Mayor Nutter, Mike DeBernardinus, Councilman Clark, all of you have really helped make something like this happen and will help make this happen over and over and over again through the city of Philadelphia through partnerships with the great Parks and Recs Department, the school district, the Water Department, and the Trust for Public Lands. Understanding this relationship, this triple bottom line thing that goes on that we always talk about but don't really get, well, this is it. This is where kids have a place to play, get excited about school, get excited about learning about rain gardens and science, and being able to translate that into what's happened in this community, what's going to happen in this community, and how can we bring economic development further and further into here. So thank you very much.
Okay, and our next speaker is the President and Chief Executive Officer of the Trust for Public Land. For those of you most times when principals say, "How did you get that yard?" And I say, "I don't know. Danielle Floyd called me." Where did she call her? But besides that, I always mention TPL, and people say, "What's TPL?" And for those of you that don't know, it is Trust for Public Land. They are a land preservation organization, but they have also been greening schoolyards in other cities. So if you look up New York, you'll see some beautiful schoolyards that they've redone in New York, and we're lucky to be the first in Philadelphia. So welcome to Mr. William Rogers.
Thank you so much. Opportunities like these are really a chance to celebrate partnership, a chance to say thank you, a chance to be excited about a different kind of future and the vision that we all have for our communities. It's great to be here today to see firsthand the results of this partnership, and you can tell by the number of speakers up here at the podium that there were a lot of people involved in making this happen. Several years ago, when Mayor Nutter and Deputy Mayor Mike D. Bernardinis invited us to help Mike D., right? invited us to help implement the city's Green 2015 initiative, we knew a lot less than we know today about the inner workings of the city and the wonderful opportunities that exist to create new green spaces throughout Philadelphia. Spaces where families can get outdoors and make that healthy and essential connection with nature and with each other. We're here today because the mayor and the deputy mayor had a compelling vision to bring more green spaces to underparked neighborhoods in the city, and they also had the commitment to make it happen. And the Trust for Public Land shares the city vision that 75% of the city, and hopefully someday everyone within the city, will be within a 10-minute walk of a park. We're working to carry out that vision for park access across the country. During our 40 years of doing this work, the Trust for Public Land has developed similar partnerships in cities across America where we have helped develop in all sizes and shapes parks, community gardens, playgrounds, trails, and greenways. But at the heart of this work, always at the heart of this work, is a partnership with the community and with elected officials and civic leaders. Now, to a parks organization like ours, what could be more inspiring than when a mayor steps up with a vision of making his city the greenest city in America? And that's what Mayor Nutter did. This new schoolyard is only the first of several that we will be working on with all of the partners that you heard from. There are many important members of the partnership that brought us here today, and I want to thank a few, and you've heard thank yous, but we can't thank enough the people involved in making this happen. City Council and Council President Darrell Clark, who's a strong local supporter for neighborhood revitalization. We appreciate the Council's support so that places like William Dick and Hank Gathers Recreation Center can live up to their full potential as healthy green community assets. The Trust for Public Land thanks the students, the teachers, and the administrators of the Philadelphia School District. The students were an integral part in the design and the features of this playground. Out on the playground with tape measures, measuring, reviewing plans, polling their fellow students to figure out what they wanted to see here in this playground. And now, as we finish this playground, we have the opportunity to take on sort of the maintenance and ongoing stewardship, and we're happy to step up and work with the city and work with the school district to make sure that that happens. So this is a beautiful place well into the future. We thank Philadelphia Parks and Recreation for their leadership, for their vision, and for their can-do attitude. And quite simply put, if every city had a parks leader like Commissioner Mike D., we'd have a nation of healthier, happier families. We're glad to have the Philadelphia Water Department and Commissioner Howard Neukrug as a partner in this innovative program, and it really is innovative. We see this as a model that can be reproduced across the country, this Green City Clean Waters initiative. Parks and gardens can act as sponges, or what many call green infrastructure, to help solve stormwater challenges while providing all the other important social benefits that we get from parks and open space. And we look forward to continuing this work and to learning with the Water Department so that we can share best practices with other cities around the country. Now, in addition to all the public agencies that help make this happen, I want to recognize a few others who played an important role in this project. Jim Mogan and many other attorneys at Reed Smith, whose pro bono legal counsel has been critical in helping us with the myriad legal agreements that had to be put in place to allow this to occur. Krista, Tom, and Josh Gessler from Gessler Construction. Wells Apple and KS Engineering are design consultants. Principal Amy Williams and the faculty at William Dick School. Jane and Joan from Mural Arts Program. They got this all kicked off in 2007 with the wonderful murals that you see around you. Gretchen Trefny, Principal Amy Williams, I mentioned, and our local Trust for Public Land staff, Maurice, Danielle, Gretchen, Jessica, and our attorneys Jane Kim, Tony Traverso. And finally, the Trust for Public Land would like to thank those whose support and philanthropic support made this happen. The William Penn Foundation, represented here today by Janet Haas, Sean McCaney, and others. Janet and John Haas for their deep and generous personal commitment. To the National Recreation Foundation, Katie Porter is here as a trustee. To the McLean Contribution Ship, MetLife Foundation, and Jerry Lenfest. So many people had so much to do with creating this wonderful opportunity, the first of many. And this schoolyard would not be possible without the ongoing and sustained efforts of everyone here today. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce one of our most committed funding partners, someone who embraces our vision for green, healthy communities, and who has had such an impact not only with this program, but with so many other important civic efforts here in Philadelphia. Dr. Janet Haas, Vice Chair of the William Penn Foundation.
Thank you. What a celebration, most especially in the rain, on this giant sponge, according to Will. Just think, 2 acres of bleak blacktop, now an oasis. Trees, shrubs, fields, and perhaps best of all, a new playground designed by and with students. You're Philly's model. You showed us that by working together, we can make new community spaces that are green and that help our environment. Your model is spurring us on to 9 other centers, schools and recreation centers, including Hank Gathers right across the street. And we dream of even more such places in Philly. Why not? TPL points to other cities doing so, building community, physical and mental health, and connection to a livelier environment all at once. Imagine 50 new community green spaces, gardens, benches, grass, shade trees, and paths to wander, places close to home to play, read, and meet friends, explore, rest, and recharge, and maybe for the kids, even do a little homework. We at William Penn love collaborating with such thoughtful and leading city agencies and great national groups such as Trust for Public Land. Partnerships advance our mission to promote children's education, enliven public spaces, and assure water quality. In many ways, today's success connecting people, land, and water is really all about our kids. The children at the William Dick School and all children in this city deserve and will make the most of such special places. Let's listen to our kids.
Thank you, Ms. Haas. As we move forward, I also just want to give a few remarks of thanks because, again, we want to keep on going here, and I know you want to hear from the students. But first, for those of you that know me, know that I'm pretty transparent, so we don't put on shows here at William Dick. And I really want you to know here in the audience that the kids designed what you see today. So oftentimes it's nice for dignitaries to stand in front of you and tell you that, oh, the children did it, because that's the correct thing to say. But in this case, these children really designed this schoolyard. And I know I call them my 3 ladies. They're really the TPL people that do all the running around like crazy and send me all the emails and tell me what's going on. So Gretchen and Danielle and Mariteo back there are somewhere in the back, but they really met with these children along with some other TPL staff and taught them about drainage. The kids came out here and measured shadows to determine proper shading and where things should be planted. So there was a great amount of learning and instruction that went on into this particular yard. Danielle has said to me more than one time that the triangular track was something that the design kids came up with, that they would not have thought of, to put a track in that triangular shape that you're sitting inside of around the turf and the basketball courts. So they went to playgrounds across the city and they picked out the play structures that they wanted inside of their schoolyard. So I really wanted to bring the children into this so everyone's aware that they really were a big part. In which case, I have two students who are going to speak today. The first one is currently a student at Constitution High School, but she is a former student at the William Dix School, and she was part of the design team process, so we asked her to come back and speak to you about her experience. So it's my pleasure to introduce Mazani Neal.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Mazani Neal, and I'm proud to be here with you today. 2 years ago, I attended this school and was lucky enough to be part of the TPL program. I had the opportunity to help design this playground that we see before us today. I am very honored to know that I helped in a process like this. When I was in a program, I didn't understand how this can change people's lives. A place that children and even adults can come here for free and for relaxation. At the time, I didn't understand that this was a huge project. It gives the students, along with the community, an outlet. This program is a really big thing, and I'm happy I participated in it. To commemorate this exciting day, our younger students would like to present each speaker with a token of thanks for the trust of public land. Thanks for helping make our playground possible, to everybody in TPL. Thank you.
Thank you again to our students. Our next speaker is a current William Dix School 8th grader, current student for one more week. He was part of the design process in the 6th grade, and he's had the privilege of being able to look out those windows on the 2nd and 3rd floor, because that's how we all know the progress that's happening, by checking out the window. So he has had the opportunity to really see this come from the time he was planning all the way through to completion. And it's my pleasure to introduce Deshaun Freeman.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. My name is Deshaun Freeman. I'm an 8th grader here at William Dix School. I was a 6th grader when I volunteered on the Hard Workers design team with 50 other students. During the design classes, we learned that it takes time, patience, and precision to succeed. Now that the schoolyard is complete, well, almost complete, there are more activities and students will be able to exercise more. It will improve our neighborhood by giving us cleaner air to breathe and more places for people of all ages to go to relax. As for me, I'm excited to play football on the turf. In fact, on behalf of the William Dix Panthers, we challenge Mayor Nutter to go for a long one. At today's ceremony, see you on the field.